Did you know Argentina is home to one of the world's tallest mountains, the largest glaciers, and waterfalls so powerful they create rainbows in their midst? From the subtropical wetlands of the north to the icy wilderness of Patagonia in the south, this country is like a living postcard filled with insane landscapes and vibrant culture. Whether it's the thundering Iguazu Falls, the dazzling salt flats of Salinas Grandes, or the rhythmic streets of Buenos Aires, every corner of Argentina feels like it belongs on your bucket list. It's a land of contrasts and surprises where nature and culture come together in the most breathtaking ways. Which wonder of Argentina would you explore first? Think of a country so vast and diverse that it feels like it's a world of its own. That's Argentina for you, a land that stretches over 1 million square miles, making it the 8th largest country in the world. From the subtropical heat of the north to the icy reaches of Patagonia in the south, Argentina is a web of extremes, offering experiences that seem tailor-made for every type of traveler. You could be exploring dense rainforests one day and standing on the edge of a sprawling glacier the next. It's this mix of contrast that draws millions of visitors every year, each one eager to discover its wonders. Argentina's geography alone is enough to leave you awestruck. Picture the mighty Andes Mountains snaking along its western border, acting as a natural divide between Argentina and Chile. These peaks are more than just stunning. They hold stories of ancient civilizations, intrepid explorers, and modern adventurers who come to conquer their snowy heights. Move a little further and you'll find yourself in the heart of Patagonia, where the landscape transforms into windswept plains and jagged cliffs. The glaciers here, such as the famous Perito Moreno, look like something out of a dream, with their deep turquoise ice formations and the occasional thunderous roar as chunks breaks off into icy waters. But it's not all rugged wilderness. Argentina has its fair share of lush beauty too. Take the Ibera wetlands for instance, a sprawling sanctuary for wildlife lovers. This place is home to more than 350 species of birds, along with capybaras, caimans, and other creatures you might not see anywhere else. The wetlands is not just about animals though. They're a living testament to the harmonious relationship between nature and the Guarani people who have lived here for centuries. It's this kind of place where you feel like every inch has a story to tell. As vast as its landscapes are, Argentina is equally rich in culture. This is a country where European influences meet indigenous traditions, creating a fascinating blend that you can see in its architecture, taste in its food, and feel in its music. Buenos Aires, the bustling capital, is often called the Paris of South America, and for good reason. Its wide boulevards, neoclassical buildings, and vibrant cafe culture make it a city you could lose yourself in for days. But it's not all about sophistication. Walk through the neighborhoods like La Boca and you'll find a riot of colors and sounds, with street performers dancing the tango and murals telling stories of struggle and triumph. Speaking of tango, did you know it was born here? This passionate dance, now recognized worldwide, originated in the working-class neighborhoods of Buenos Aires. It's a dance that tells a story of love, heartbreak, and resilience. Watching a live tango performance in its birthplace is nothing short of magical. It's one of those experiences that makes you realize how deeply rooted Argentina's art and culture are in its everyday life. But Argentina isn't just about big cities and famous landmarks. It's a place where even the lesser-known corners have something extraordinary to offer. Think of Purmamarca in the north, where the Hill of Seven Colors stands as a natural masterpiece, or the quiet town of Villa La Angostura, where alpine-style chalets dot the landscape beside serene lakes. Each place, no matter how small, seems to hold a piece of Argentina's soul. The food here deserves a chapter of its own. Argentina is famous for its asado, or barbecue, which is more than just a meal. It's a social ritual. Families and friends gather around a grill, sharing stories as they cook thick, juicy steaks over open flames. And then there's the wine, particularly the Malbecs from Mendoza, which have earned global acclaim. Pair a glass of red wine with a perfectly grilled steak, and you've got a taste of Argentina that you'll never forget. The country's culinary scene is a reflection of its diversity, blending indigenous ingredients with European techniques to create something uniquely its own. Argentina's charm doesn't stop with its food and landscapes. There's something about the people here that makes the experience even more special. Argentinians are known for their warmth and hospitality, always ready to share their culture with visitors. Whether it's a local guide taking you on a trek through the Andes or a friendly shopkeeper in Buenos Aires, there's a genuine sense of pride in their country that's infectious. It's the kind of place where you can walk through lush rainforests, stand in awe of roaring waterfalls, and feel the icy breeze from massive glaciers, all in the span of a few days. The landscapes here are not just beautiful, they feel alive, each one with its own story and rhythm, waiting to pull you in. If you've ever imagined what paradise might look like, it would probably resemble Iguazu Falls. These waterfalls are not just a single cascade, but a collection of 275 roaring torrents that stretch across almost 2 miles. The most famous part of Iguazu is the Devil's Throat, a dramatic U-shaped chasm where the water crashes down with such force that it creates a constant mist, almost like nature's own fireworks display. Walking along the trails around the falls, you can feel the ground tremble slightly under your feet. It's thrilling and humbling all at once. And the surrounding rainforest? It's teeming with life. Colorful toucans, playful monkeys, and exotic plants that look straight out of a nature documentary. You can even take a boat ride right up to the base of the falls, getting drenched as you feel the power of nature up close. While Iguazu takes your breath away with its sheer drama, the Perito Moreno Glacier in Patagonia leaves you speechless in a different way. It's like stepping into another world, one made entirely of shimmering ice. This glacier is massive, spanning 250 square kilometers, and what's even more fascinating is that it's one of the few glaciers on Earth that's still advancing. Imagine standing on a wooden walkway, gazing at the turquoise ice, and suddenly hearing a loud crack followed by the splash of a gigantic ice chunk plunging into the water below. It's a show that nature puts on daily, and no two performances are ever the same. For those who love mountains, Argentina has a crown jewel, Aconcagua. This is the tallest peak in the Americas, and just looking at it from the base is enough to make you feel tiny. It's a magnet for climbers from all over the world, each one eager to conquer its snow-covered summit. Even if mountaineering isn't your thing, the surrounding landscapes of the Andes are a dream. Rolling valleys, glistening streams, and that crisp mountain air makes it a place where every view feels like a postcard. Then there's the Ibira wetlands, which feels like stepping into a wildlife wonderland. Stretching across 1.3 million hectares, this is one of the largest and most biodiverse wetlands in the world. The place is alive, with the calls of over 350 bird species, the splash of capybaras cooling off in the water, and the stealthy movements of caimans lurking near the surface. The wetlands aren't just about the animals though. They're also a testament to the balance between humans and nature. The Guarani people have lived here for centuries, respecting the land and its creatures. Walking through this lush landscape, you can't help but feel a deep connection to the earth, as if you're a part of something much bigger. Patagonia feels like the edge of the world. It's the kind of place where nature seems untouched, raw, and larger than life. Every inch of this region, stretching across southern Argentina, feels like it belongs in a storybook about wild adventures and hidden beauty. If you're looking for a destination that can take your breath away, Patagonia does it without even trying. Imagine waking up to a sunrise that paints the mountains in shades of pink and gold, with the sound of glaciers creaking in the distance. That's Los Glaciares National Park, a place so stunning it feels surreal. The park is home to some of Patagonia's most iconic landmarks, including Mount Fitzroy and Cerro Torre. These jagged peaks are like sculptures carved by time and weather, standing tall against a backdrop of blue skies and sprawling glaciers. Hiking here isn't just about exercise, it's about feeling like you're part of something ancient and eternal. Every step you take brings you closer to vistas that make you stop and marvel at how beautiful the world can be. Mount Fitzroy is the kind of mountain that makes you question reality. Its sharp granite spires look almost too perfect, as if an artist decided to paint a mountain straight into the sky. Climbers and trekkers from around the globe come here for the challenge, but you don't need to be a mountaineer to enjoy its beauty. Trails like Laguna de los Tres offer relatively accessible paths that reward you with insane views. Standing there, gazing at the reflection of Fitzroy in the crystal clear waters of the lagoon, you feel like you've stepped into a dream. Patagonia isn't just about its mountains. Ushuaia, the southernmost city in the world, sits nestled between the Marshall Mountains and the Beagle Channel. It's often called the end of the world, and being there truly feels like you've reached the planet's final frontier. Ushuaia has an intriguing history, once serving as a penal colony for Argentina's most dangerous criminals. Walking through its streets today, you can still sense the echoes of its past, even as the town has transformed into a lively hub for adventurers. From here, you can explore the Beagle Channel, where you might spot penguins waddling along rocky shores, sea lions lounging in the sun, or dolphins playfully leaping through the waves. One of the highlights near Ushuaia is Tierra del Fuego National Park. This park feels like it was pulled straight from a story about explorers and pioneers. With its dense forests, pristine lakes, and rugged coastline, it's a haven for outdoor enthusiasts. The hiking trails here wind through breathtaking landscapes, leading you to spots where you can sit quietly and just soak in the serenity. The Beagle Channel glimmers in the distance, while birds like albatrosses and petrels soar overhead. It's the kind of place that makes you forget time, where the only thing that matters is the natural beauty around you. Argentina's cities have a charm that's hard to describe, but impossible to forget. They're alive with energy, history, and culture, each one offering its unique slice of the Argentine experience. Buenos Aires, Córdoba, Rosario, each city feels like a universe on its own, filled with stories, flavors, and unforgettable moments. Walking through their streets is like flipping through the pages of a book where every chapter brings something new and exciting. Buenos Aires, the capital, is the beating heart of Argentina. It's often called the Paris of South America, and when you see it, you'll understand why. The city's wide boulevards, elegant architecture, and buzzing cafe culture feel distinctly European, but there's something unmistakably Argentine to it. The streets are alive with music, art, and the sound of tango dancers gliding across cobblestones. Neighborhoods like La Boca explode with color and life. The bright murals and painted houses here aren't just pretty, they're a reflection of the community's spirit and history. It's the kind of place where you can lose yourself in the rhythm of street performers and the laughter of locals enjoying a sunny afternoon. Each neighborhood in Buenos Aires has its vibe. Palermo is a favorite for its parks and greenery. Strolling through the streets of Bosques de Palermo, you'll find rose gardens, serene lakes, and tree-lined paths perfect for a lazy afternoon. The Recoleta Cemetery, with its intricate mausoleums and statues, is not only a peaceful resting place, but also a piece of history. Eva Perón, or Evita as she's affectionately known, rests here, and visitors from all over the world come to pay their respects. Buenos Aires isn't just about the sights, it's a city you taste. The food here is unforgettable. Picture this, a perfectly grilled steak, juicy and tender, paired with a glass of Malbec. That's an asado, Argentina's famous barbecue, and in Buenos Aires, it's not just a meal, it's an experience. The city is full of parrillas, or steakhouses, where chefs turn cooking meat into an art form. And if you're in the mood for something sweet, alfajores, soft cookies filled with creamy dulce de leche, are a must-try. Paired with a cup of mate, Argentina's traditional tea, they make for the perfect snack. While Buenos Aires takes the spotlight, Córdoba is the city that quietly steals your heart. It's a place where history and modernity blend seamlessly. The city is known for its stunning colonial architecture, much of it dating back to the Jesuit missionaries who built churches, schools, and libraries that still stand today. Walking through Cordoba's historic center, you'll see beautifully preserved buildings that tell the story of a time when the city was a hub of learning and culture. But Cordoba isn't stuck in the past. It's a youthful city, home to many universities and a thriving art scene. The energy here is contagious, especially when you stumble upon one of the city's music festivals or bustling markets. Rosario, another of Argentina's major cities, offers a completely different vibe. It's known for its connection to Che Guevara, who was born here, but Rosario is more than its famous revolutionary son. The city sits along the Paraná River, and its waterfront is a magnet for locals and tourists alike. You can take a boat ride, enjoy a picnic in one of the parks, or simply walk along the promenade, soaking in the views. Rosario also has a vibrant cultural scene with galleries, theaters, and live music venues that showcase the creativity of its people. And if you're a fan of Argentine football, Rosario's passion for the sport is unmatched. Heading south, Mar del Plata is Argentina's go-to beach destination. Located along the Atlantic coast, it's where Argentinians escape during the summer for sun, sand, and relaxation. The beaches here stretch for miles, offering everything from quiet coves to lively spots filled with beachgoers. Mar del Plata isn't just about the beach though. The city itself is a mix of old and new, with elegant mansions from its days as a playground for the rich standing alongside modern resorts. The seafood here is as fresh as it gets, with restaurants serving up dishes like grilled octopus and fried calamari that makes your taste buds sing. Every corner of this country is steeped in history and tradition, blending indigenous roots with European influences to create a cultural mosaic like no other. From its passionate dances to its ancient rituals, Argentina's cultural heritage is as diverse and colorful as its landscapes. If there's one thing that defines Argentina's cultural identity, it's the tango. This fiery, expressive dance was born in the streets of Buenos Aires, where it grew out of the fusion of African, European, and indigenous traditions. Tango isn't just a dance, it's a story of love, heartbreak, and longing played out in the rhythmic embrace of two people. Watching a live tango performance in its birthplace is unforgettable. The music, the movements, the raw emotion. It's like the soul of Argentina laid bare for everyone to see. Whether it's a formal show in a theater or an impromptu performance on the cobblestone streets of San Telmo, tango has a way of pulling you into its world, even if it's just for a moment. But Argentina's music and dance don't stop with the tango. In the northern regions, particularly in Salta and Jujuy, you'll find a completely different kind of rhythm. Here, folk music reigns supreme, with traditional instruments like the charango and bombo liguero setting the beat. The music is often accompanied by sambia or chacarera, dances that tell stories of the land, the people, and the history. Festivals in this part of Argentina are a sensory overload, with colorful costumes, lively music, and the smell of empanadas wafting through the air. This northern region is also where Argentina's indigenous heritage shines brightest. Before the Spanish arrived, the Andean people had a rich culture that revolted around the land and its resources. You can still see their influence today in places like Purmamarca, where the Hill of Seven Colors stands as a natural masterpiece, and in the bustling markets where artisans sell their handmade crafts. Walking through these markets, you'll find woven textiles, pottery, and jewelry that reflects centuries-old techniques passed down through generations. Each piece tells a story, connecting you to a time long before modern Argentina existed. Even in the country's cuisine, you can taste the layers of cultural history. While Argentina is famous for its beef and asado, the food of the northern provinces offers something completely different. Corn, potatoes, and quinoa take center stage in dishes like humitas and tamales, which have been staples in the Andean diet for centuries. And then there's the wine. Oh, the wine. Mendoza is the heart of Argentina's wine country, producing some of the best Malbecs in the world. A visit to the vineyard here isn't just about tasting wine, it's about experiencing the passion and dedication that goes into every bottle. Argentina's colonial past also left its mark, particularly in cities like Cordoba and Salta. Cordoba's historic center is a treasure trove of colonial architecture, with its grand churches and convents telling the story of the Jesuit missionaries who settled there. These missionaries didn't just build stunning structures, they established schools and libraries that made Cordoba a hub of learning and culture. Walking through the city today, you can almost feel the weight of history in every cobblestone and archway. Salta, often called Salta la Linda or Salta the Beautiful, is another city where the past and present blend seamlessly. Its plaza is surrounded by pastel-colored buildings that feel like a step back in time, while its museums house artifacts that date back thousands of years. One of the most fascinating exhibits is the mummified remains of 3 Inca children known as the Children of Yuyayaco. These young lives were offered as a sacrifice to the gods, and their perfectly preserved bodies provide a hauntingly beautiful glimpse into Inca traditions. In the northwest, high in the Andes, lies the remote village of Iruya. Getting there is half the adventure. The journey involves winding roads that seem to climb forever, with breathtaking views of cliffs and valleys around every turn. When you finally arrive, Iruya feels like it's been plucked straight out of a storybook. The colorful adobe houses cling to the mountainside, and the cobblestone streets twist and turn in a way that makes every walk feel like a discovery. It's a place where life moves slowly, where locals gather in the town square, and where you can truly disconnect from the world. Sitting on a hillside, watching the sun dip below the rugged peaks, it's hard not to feel a sense of peace that's rare to find anywhere else. Further north, the Salinas Grandes offers an otherworldly experience. These massive salt flats stretch as far as the eye can see, creating a dazzling white expanse that feels almost surreal. Standing in the middle of it, you can't help but feel like you've stepped onto another planet. The contrast between the salt crusts and the surrounding mountains is stunning, especially when the light changes throughout the day. At sunrise, the landscape is bathed in soft pinks and oranges, while at midday, the blinding whiteness under the sun feels almost dreamlike. During the rainy seasons, the flat turns into a giant mirror, reflecting the sky in a way that's both beautiful and disorienting. The indigenous communities in the area have harvested salt here for generations, and visiting gives you the chance to learn about their traditions and deep connection to the land. In Patagonia, Villa La Angostura feels like a hidden paradise. This small town sits on the shores of Nahuel Huapi Lake, surrounded by forests and mountains. It's often overshadowed by its neighbor Bariloche, but that's part of what makes it so special. Villa La Angostura has a quiet charm, with wooden chalets, cozy cafes, and a pace of life that invites you to slow down and soak it all in. The lake is perfect for kayaking or sailing, and the trails through the surrounding forest leads to breathtaking viewpoints. One of the best things about Villa La Angostura is that it's beautiful year-round. In summer, the wildflowers bloom, and the trails are perfect for hiking. In winter, the snow-covered landscapes make it feel like a magical winter wonderland. Another lesser-known treasure is Tigre, located just outside Buenos Aires. This town is built on the delta of the Paraná River, a maze of waterways and islands that feel like a world apart from the bustling capital. Taking a boat through the delta is an experience unlike any other. You'll pass by charming houses on stilts, lush greenery, and even floating markets. Tigre has a rich cultural scene too, with museums like the Tigre Art Museum housed in a stunning French-style building. It's a perfect day trip if you're in Buenos Aires, offering a peaceful escape into nature without having to travel far. In the province of Mendoza, the Atuel Canyon is a hidden gem that combines natural beauty with adventure. The canyon's towering walls are painted in shades of red, orange and brown, creating a striking contrast against the blue sky. The Atwill River runs through the canyon, its crystal clear waters adding a serene touch to the rugged landscape. This is a place for thrill seekers, with activities like whitewater rafting, kayaking, and rock climbing available. Even if you're not into extreme sports, simply walking along the trails and soaking in the views is enough to make you fall in love with the place. From the vast wetlands teeming with birds to the icy southern oceans where the whales breach and penguins waddle, Argentina feels alive with creatures big and small. Exploring its wildlife feels like stepping into a nature documentary where every turn brings a new surprise. The Valdez Peninsula, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is one of the most extraordinary places in the country for wildlife enthusiasts. It's a rugged, semi-arid region that juts out in the Atlantic Ocean and serves as a haven for marine life. The peninsula is famous for its southern right whales, which visit these waters every year to mate and give birth. Standing on the cliffs and watching these gentle giants breach and splash below is a moment you'll never forget. It's like they're performing just for you, their massive tails slicing through the waters before disappearing beneath the waves. Boat tours take you even closer, where you can feel the spray of the ocean as these majestic creatures swim right beside you. But the whales are just the beginning. The Valdez Peninsula is also home to enormous colonies of sea lions and elephant seals. On the beaches, you'll see them lounging lazily in the sun or playfully splashing in the shallows. During breeding season, the beaches come alive with activity as pups are born and the males fight for dominance in dramatic displays of strength. It's a noisy, fascinating spectacle that shows the raw beauty of nature. And if you're lucky, you might spot orcas patrolling the coastline, sometimes using their unique hunting techniques of intentionally breaching themselves to catch prey. It's a rare and awe-inspiring sight that highlights the incredible adaptability of these intelligent creatures. The wildlife in this area isn't just about the ocean. The peninsula's grasslands and cliffs are home to a variety of bird species, including flamingos, rheas, and cormorants. Birdwatchers could spend hours here, spotting different species and marveling at their beauty. It's not unusual to see a group of flamingos wading gracefully through a shallow lagoon, their bright pink feathers standing out against the blue sky. Heading further south, you reach Ushuaia, often called the end of the world. This southernmost city in the world is surrounded by the Beagle Channel, a waterway that's as rich in wildlife as it is in history. The channel is dotted with small islands that serve as nesting grounds for thousands of birds, including albatrosses and petrels. On Martillo Island, you'll find colonies of Magellanic and Gentoo penguins. Watching these adorable birds waddle around, completely unbothered by human presence, is a pure delight. They seem almost comical, yet they're perfectly adapted to their environment, diving into the freezing waters with surprising speed and grace. The waters around Ushuaia is also home to sea lions and even dolphins, which you can spot during a boat tour of the channel. The views from the boat are stunning, with the snowy peaks of the Marshall Mountains rising in the background. It's a reminder of how closely tied the region's wildlife is to its dramatic landscapes. Every creature here seems to fit perfectly into its surroundings, creating an ecosystem that feels timeless and untouched. Further inland, Argentina's Ibera wetlands offer a completely different wildlife experience. These vast wetlands, one of the largest in the world, are a paradise for nature lovers. The area is a mosaic of lagoons, marshes, and grasslands, each one teeming with life. Capybaras, the world's largest rodent, roam freely here, often lounging near the water's edge. They're surprisingly cute, with a calm demeanor and almost dog-like expressions. Nearby, you might spot caimans lurking in the shadows, their eyes barely breaking the surface as they patiently wait for their next meal. The wetlands are also home to an incredible variety of birds, with over 350 species recorded here. From the bright blue plumage of the hyacinth macaw to the elegant flight of the Jabiru stork, the birdlife in the Ibera wetlands is truly spectacular. Guided tours often include boat rides, which take you through the heart of the wetlands and allow you to see these creatures up close. The tranquility of gliding through the water, surrounded by the sounds of chirping birds and rustling reeds, is an experience that stays with you long after you've left. One of the most unique wildlife experiences in Argentina is found in the Antarctic waters south of Tierra del Fuego. While technically beyond the country's mainland, Argentina serves as a gateway to Antarctica, with many expeditions departing from Ushuaia. These journeys take you into a world unlike any other, where icebergs the size of skyscrapers float silently and penguins outnumber people by the thousands. Seeing a leopard seal resting on an ice floe or a pod of humpback whales feeding in the icy waters is an unforgettable reminder of the planet's incredible biodiversity. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.